What is a hobby that you like, but a majority of people shame you for? As a 39-year-old straight man, baking and gardening. I make damn tasty cakes and love growing my own fijos and making jam. I still get shit for it. I play bass guitar. The bassist is always shamed, but damn it, we are essential. I press flowers. I love the outdoors and I like collecting things. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but I play violin and I always get the lol. I bet it sounds like you're torturing a cat. Violins are terrible like almost every time. Repairing phones. People don't understand it. Dungeons and Dragons. Fuck, I miss that game. Man. Video games. When I mention that I play video games, people always assume that's all I do. Or tell me that I should go out in the real world instead. The worst things is probably when they ask how many hours I've spent on a game. And they're like, damn, imagine that spent working, you'd be rich. I got into whittling when I was a kid. I loved carving sticks and decorative walking sticks, canes, etc. Eventually I learned that I could use my wood carvings to make molds for things. And me, being the raunchy 17-year-old that I was, decided that it'd be hilarious to make a large wooden dick. So I did, and it turned out rather well. Turns out that people online liked it too, so suddenly I was inundated with dick pics and people requesting I make a wooden version of their dick, and also an accompanying silicone dildo version since I could do that as well. So I do, on occasion, still carve wooden dicks and make dildos out of them. I still like carving. It doesn't really matter what I'm carving, I guess. Haha. Forging Disney princess autographs. Some people call me childish, girly or whatever. I learn language for a hobby and anytime I bring it up to my parents or brother they always just ignore me and tell me stop. Now I never talk about languages with them. I am 13 learning Spanish in school. Then learn Hindi and French at home. Learn Hindi because I'm Indian and French because I find France interesting. Reddit's favorite: riding horses. I don't actually get shamed to my face now that I'm an adult, but most people's eyes glaze over when they politely ask me if I'm still riding and my answer is much longer than a simple yes. I make customized dolls. I always feel like such a weirdo buying dolls, old or used ones, and hoarding them to vamp them up or make them into new characters. Stealing. Manga, anime, fanfiction. Dressing up as an orc. I don't need any makeup. Pretty much anything I have done horse related. I used to draw horses a bunch but got made fun of and stopped. Used to talk about horse racing but also got made fun of and stopped. Now if I do those, I do them in private, i.e. drawing and never showing anyone or talking about horse racing in a private Facebook group. Funnily enough, I can talk about when I go horseback riding with no repercussions and everyone thinks it is cool and calls me lucky. Pole exotic dancing. Watching anime. Playing video games and reading fanfiction. I'm in my early 30s and people always give me weird looks and make snide comments about me wasting my time gaming. I learned not to mention the fanfic at all. Reading tarot cards. Fanfiction for sure. Being a 28-year-old male who likes to collect Pokemon cards. Doesn't make me mad or hurt my feelings. I'm past that shit as an adult and could care less. But friends tease the hell out of me for it, lol. Drugs in moderation. When I was in middle school I'd make these finger puppets of superheroes. They were actually pretty legit but kinda nerdy at the same time. Photoshopping silly pictures, Pokemon riding cars, teachers' faces on Shakespeare, microwaves in a cup of coffee. Gaming, more specifically World of Warcraft. As soon as anybody finds out you play it they write you off as a no-life loser. I blame South Park. Masturbating. Modding my car. I'm no master mechanic but I like making a car look aesthetically pleasing as well as doing different things to the exterior, rims, tint, shit like that. Most people give me flack BC, they say it's all show and no go, but IDC my car stock pushes 170 HP out the door. I'm not trying to be on the track or something. I just like the culture of cars. Collecting other people's foreskin and beer caps. Collecting spiders and tarantulas. Drinking. I draw a lot. For whatever reason people keep calling me a furry, like okay Chad, it's a lycanthropic demon. I'm human form that has a tail, not a fucking fox with his dick out, but oh fucking K. Growing mushrooms, it's honestly a lot of fun. But people always immediately think I'm just drug seeking. Like, yeah, I grow active species, but I'm more interested in the growing than the consuming or selling. Also blacksmithing. But you could just buy that for 20 bucks. Fuck you, I made this. Geopolitics. People don't relate with all the fuck I'm talking, so they look to me with scorn when I mention what I know about geopolitics. These people are only interested with their own lives and flirting and dating and pop culture dart. Like the other two people that said this, watching anime. I love singing. I fell in love with it like 5 years ago. I'm a terrible singer, but I'm trying my best to improve. This is my first Reddit comment, so it'll get buried. I'm only 14 and I listen to classical music. Almost all of my friends listen to rap, which I despise. They all get on me for listening to Mozart, who I also despise, and try to tell them that there's a lot more classical music out there than Mozart and Beethoven. It never works. Kinda weird, but rooftop climbing. I like to sit on roofs and just look at the scenery. People say it's dangerous, and I mean it is, but it's actually relaxing to me. When I tell people I build model kits, they often mock that I play with toys when all my kits are only for displaying. Guns. Shooting. I've been into languages since I was little, and I really enjoy and find great satisfaction in learning them, but I always get told I shouldn't waste my time in languages nobody speak, and that I should stick to the main ones: French, Spanish, Mandarin, and such. It's not as bad as it used to be, but D and AMP, D. I have a co-worker who often mentions the mere mention of D and AMP. D makes her angry, because her boyfriend plays it or something, and other people have looked down on me for it as well. Co-workers, family, etc. I think gaming is still shunned upon way too much. Watching wrestling. Public masturbation. Building Lego sets. Some of my friends get it though. One married couple I know have a tradition that each Christmas they buy each other significant Lego sets. Then on New Year's Eve, when the kids have gone to bed, they get out the Lego sets and build them whilst getting plastered on wine engine. Research serial killers. I do competitive shooting in Australia. When I was started owning firearms, you would think according to my family and friends I made a deal with the devil. I've whittled them down though and taken out of them out shooting. A good amount now have their own licenses and firearms. It's good to be able to break down the stigma in a fun, safe way. I don't know, shooting's fun and it's a sport and a hobby that you can pretty much do at any age or level. Studying serial killers. The human condition fascinates me and I'm always clamoring to figure out what makes people do what they do. Why did Dahmer do what he did? What made Kenneth MacDuff so inherently evil, and how was he able to slip through the cracks for so long? Why did Ed Kemper use his amazing intelligence to inflict pain on others? Why did Ted Bundy, a man who had the looks, charisma, and intelligence to be anything he wanted, choose to hunt college girls? I've had people stop talking to me because of it. Apparently, being fascinated with these people means you're a serial killer just like them. I've never understood that logic. I'm also a huge fan of Batman. Does that make me Batman? Being a couch potato. Cooking. I am a white heterosexual American male who watches anime. I'm sure others can relate. It was gaming, once. Now I just don't talk about it, because from the outside looking in perspective, I get why, and can't help but agree that our hobby hosts a lot of outcasts and degenerates. No more tabletop shop D and AMP, D with possible school shooters to be in trench coats for me. Archaeology and politics. Lot of, and how do you plan to make a living off that? IDK bruh, who said anything about living? Cries myself to sleep with my handmade Mesolithic Celt and a copy of Mutual Aid by Peter Kropotkin. Chaos magic. I like the art. I like playing with my brain. I like spooky stuff. but good luck trying to explain that to people. Shooting sports. When people find out, they make so many assumptions about my character and political beliefs. It's bizarre. Being a younger Reddit user whose age group is still anti-Minecraft, playing Minecraft. Gaming. Growing up, most of the people I knew were adults and the majority of them thought gaming was for children. My mum was definitely the most extreme though, and if my dad hadn't talked some sense into her, I'd still be using the cheapest laptop I could possibly find. As a 14-year-old teenager, model trains, I enjoy them a lot, but I got mocked by my classmates. Watching anime. Astrology. No, I don't believe in horoscopes. No, I do not make excuses for my actions by saying, sorry, I'm just a insert sign here. I just think it's interesting. Being a goddamn furry. Anime. Explicit fanfiction, that's it 90% of the time about gay couples sometimes insist, and I really don't give a single damn about anyone mocking me for it. Eating black licorice. Piccolo. I play piccolo. It's always stereotyped as the screech flute. Crochet. Video games. I like tropical fruits, so many different flavors. Of course, my friends just tell me I'm gay because the word fruit. Cuddling. In my case, it's more of an obsession than a hobby, and it creeps people out. Singing. I'm a dude, but it's fun even though I probably sound bad. Watching ASMR. I have two. I like to build little metal models and collect Pez dispensers. The metal 3D models help with a stroke I had in my 20s. And I've collected almost 4,000 Pez dispensers since I was age 7. P.S. I am female. Apparently both of those go against a weird stereotype. Airsoft. They're not toy guns, damn it. I'm not afraid to say that I love all things liver related. I love eating liver, and I find human livers attractive, especially women with big livers. In fact, I've got a 3D printed mold of my own liver with a hole drilled into it, for obvious reasons. Just about everyone shames me for my obsession. My family, most people I meet, and pretty much all of my exes. Lockpicking. Learning a constructed language. A couple of years ago, I started learning a language called Esperanto, which was created artificially, as opposed to a natural language, which evolves naturally. I now use the language to chat to people online. When I tell people, the first thing they always say to me is everyone speaks English or nobody speaks Esperanto. I'll admit that the language has image problems, but I don't think it's fair to write off the whole community as a bunch of weirdos. As is the case with learning any language, people can be so discouraging, especially as I am a native English speaker. Vulture culture. I get how people think it's gross, but I just like collecting skulls. Eating. I like FNAF, but I'm not a fangirl : Watching AMV anime music videos and making anime music videos. I like finding videos because I discover music I wouldn't have otherwise find, and I like editing videos because it is so much fun synchronizing sound with images. But I get seen as a weebo for it. For instance, this video. Making bedazzled reproductions of historical costumes for my dogs. Young people as in 14 under people playing airsoft. Coloring. I love my coloring books, and people, mostly the old ladies at work, think it's wicked childish and weird because I'm 26, but I do it for relaxation. I write fanfiction. Junior in college, I have good friends, enjoy going out, enjoy socializing, but when I get spare time I love to write fanfiction. Not ashamed, but when people find out there's usually a long pause and lots of questions. Young me, 8 at the time, was really into EverQuest and The Sims. I remember trying to get my friends into it and being made fun of since it wasn't Barbies. Now these bitches wanna say they've always been a fan of The Sims now that the game is cool. GTFOH for making baby meat out herself for her hobbies. I like to play games. Aren't you too old for games? Games make you brain rot etc. And I really like cars, anything about them. Drag, drift, race etc. Speed kills son. Do you know how much fuel they use? Tells a story relating a bad experience with a car making him almost hating cars. Being a furry. I get R down the Ted to hell every single time I so much as mention it. I'm a Rule 34 artist. Also paint normal art with my blood. Both are apparently not allowed socially. Going to drag queen shows. Watching cat porn. Psychedelics. Watching wrestling. Masturbating. Intravenous administration of diacetyl morphine. UGR cause that's not what most PPLI chill with are into. Drones. I either the Gatwick perpetrator or a perv looking though people's window. Thee'll never catch me though.